Welcome to today's deep dive. We've got a really fascinating stack of art history and scientific analyses to go through with you today, and it is all centered on Claude Monet. We're looking past the pretty landscape to see the guy who basically hacked human perception using physics and chemistry.
Yeah, it's such a brilliant way to frame his work. When you strip away the romance and just look at the science, you realize he wasn't capturing pleasant scenery. He's actually running complex optical experiments on the canvas.
Right. I mean, we all know the story of his 1872 painting, Impression Sunrise.
Oh, right, where the critic mocked it.
Exactly, mocked it as a mere impression and accidentally named the entire movement. But diving into these notes, it hit me that the critic totally missed the actual physics of what Monet was doing. He abandoned the traditional goal of painting static, physical space.
Because the goal shifted to painting time. He wanted to capture the instantaneity of atmospheric light, just a single unrepeatable moment before the sun moved or the clouds shifted.
But to chase that light, he couldn't just sit in the studio. And this was my absolute favorite realization in the research. We basically owe Impressionism to a piece of packaging technology.
It's true. In 1841, an American painter, John Rand, invented the compressible metal paint tube. Before that, artists were tying up wet paint in pig bladders.
Which sounds incredibly messy.
As messy and impractical as you can imagine. But you combine those new metal tubes with a folding box easel, and suddenly you have a fully portable laboratory. Art moved outdoors.
And what was inside those tubes was changing too.
A total chemical revolution. The 19th century chemical industry was synthesizing brilliant new pigments. Monet was suddenly packing intense, stable colors.
Like the cobalt, violet, and viridian.
Yes, and cadmium yellow. Because he had these glowing synthetics, he practically banished dull earth tones, browns, and blacks from his palette.
Having those vibrant pigments in a portable tube is one thing, but how he actually applied them is where this gets into almost neuroscience territory for me.
Right, the optical mixing.
Yeah, in 1839, a French chemist named Michel-Eugène Chevreul published the law of simultaneous contrast. He proved that placing two complementary colors next to each other makes both look significantly more vibrant.
He painted ordinary haystacks over 20 times. You really have to wonder what the local farmers thought of this guy sitting in a field staring at a pile of hay for weeks on end.
They probably thought he was out of his mind. But he wasn't painting the haystack. The haystack was just a static canvas for the light. He was mapping how the shifting sun changed the appearance of the object.
And he took that serial observation even further with the Rouen Cathedral, painting its facade over 30 times.
Wait, so he wasn't just practicing painting the same building. He was actually tracking the molecular shift of the light across the stone.
That is exactly it. By focusing solely on those shifting particles of light, he effectively dissolved solid stone into atmosphere. He did the same thing with his London series of the Houses of Parliament.
He wasn't painting the architecture.
No, he was painting the thick London fog. He was painting the air itself.
Which leads us to those late Massive Water Lilies series. He pushed the boundary so far that he just eliminated the horizon line, the sky, the shoreline. It's nothing but water, light, and reflection.
And here we have to factor in his biology, which became the ultimate filter. Later in life, progressive cataracts shifted his vision.
His biological lens darkened.
Exactly, shifting his perception and his palette from cool blues toward muddy, reddish tones.
That sounds terrifying for an artist whose entire life is color.
It was. And then, after his cataract surgery in February 1923, his vision changed again. He reported that his very first sensation was a permeating blueness.
Because of those intense vision changes, the sharp edges of the world just faded for him. Combine that with his frantic, heavy brushstrokes, and he wasn't really painting physical objects anymore.
He was just painting the feeling of color.
Which was the birth of abstraction. Without meaning to, he created a modernist bridge that anticipated abstract expressionism by 20 to 40 years.
He paved the way for artists like Mark Rothko, turning the canvas into an immersive experience of pure textural color.
Knowing this changes everything. The next time you look at one of these canvases, you aren't just looking at a pretty lily pond. You are experiencing a brilliant, century-old optical experiment playing out right on your own retina.
Which raises an important question to leave you with. If Monet used 19th century chemistry and optics to hack human vision, how might today's artists use modern neuroscience or digital technology to fundamentally alter our perception of reality?
Something for you to ponder until next time.